Folks, Holy Joe Rock and Roll for part 2 of how to build stairs. Here I am in my workshop, and I just want to show you some of the pre-planning that I've done. Like, for instance, if you're unsure, here's a little thing. I just created a square by folding a piece of paper, so I'd have a square, and I drew some ideas, like how would it work, to kind of help me visualize the bottom. This is the bottom piece, which we were working on last time, the quarter turn, which would be something like this. You start here and work your way to the left, straight to the left, 4 steps. And prior to that, I did another one here. This was more of a rectangle. I think it's a what was it? 1 meter by 0.75 meters, to see how that would look if I wanted to shorten it up. It could still work, but I decided to go with more of a square. It's actually, what I actually did was 110 by 106. And here I want to show you some of the printouts from Stair Designer. Now I didn't pay to print, because if you have a hope you can see that. If you have a CNC cutter, it'll give you all that information if you pay for it. This is the 2D version, which you can see a straight set of stairs coming down and then turning here at the bottom. This really helped me visualize it. There's the 4 steps at the bottom, and the math for this is showing, well, 15 risers, 3 meters high, and the riser height is 23 and the tread width is 27.75. I'm actually deviating from those numbers, but again, it's just a good way to help you visualize it. And here's sort of a side elevated view of what I'm envisioning the stairs to look like. This is the banister. Here's the stairs coming down and turning. Here's more of a true side view. Again, I'm using stringers underneath, known as English style. Most American steps, you'll see this. So this is just another view of it. Here's another view of the visualization, sort of lower side view, kind of at an angle. Here's looking at it straight on. So I expect it to at the end, if we're straight on the steps, it'll look like this. Now I'm going with 1 meter wide steps, and of course this is 110 by 106. I added the extra 10 centimeters so that the stringers can attach to the box, just so that you know. And here's another view from the wall side. Obviously the walls here, you wouldn't actually see this. And here's an underneath view. I did a bunch of sketches once I had that sort of visualization. Here's one of them where I'm just trying to estimate, the space. This was the original one, and it didn't really work out too much. And just a lot of simple math. Just you know how high your steps are going to be. You can add. Here I'm seeing, well, if the top of my 4 steps is 88 centimeters and I had a 22 centimeter rise, how many steps would it get me to 303 is really what I need, 300 centimeters or 303 centimeters. And I calculated 13 steps. 13 steps. The top step is actually the landing of the 2nd floor. So let's go ahead and cut some stringers. Well, let me show you. I cut these stringers here, and I cut them, I think, 27 by 21. And while it does work, it pushes the staircase out. There's without a turn, pushes the staircase out too far, and so we're redoing it. And the good thing about using OSB, come on, the whole sheet, 2.5 meters by 1.5 meters, costs $30. So if you mess it up, it's not a big deal. And you can always reuse this. You build a fort for the kids later with this wood. Okay, let's talk about laying out your stringers. If you have, obviously you're going to need a T-square, and you're going to need your wood. There's a thing called stair gauges, which are metal, I don't know what you want to call it. It's basically looks like a specialized nut and a bolt that can lock onto your T-square to let you very quickly set up and move and make your marks for your stringer. Unfortunately, I can't find any in this country, and I ordered some from the US. They have not arrived yet, so what I'm just going to do is put some tape at the locations to make it very easy for me to mark the stringers where I need to mark it and quickly move on to the next position. This is going to be a 23 by 23 riser, so let's get to it. The best practices when cutting your stringers is not to go past the line. So on my circular saw, when I hit the vertical, I just stop. It leaves, I don't know, ½ an inch of wood, and I just cut it out with the handsaw. Here I've attached the stringers to the head of the steps with these L-shaped brackets. Here, as you can see, I've got the bottom 4 steps in place, and I'm using 3 stringers. These are 2 centimeter thick OSB stringers, 23 by 23. It's going to be a little bit high, but this is more of a proof of concept and my prototype, and I'm starting to put some stairs in place. Looking good so far. Here we are with a few more steps in place. It's starting to come together. It's starting to look like a staircase. Looking pretty good, stable, solid, and we're going to continue working. Okay, we're almost done now. I've got all the steps in place except for the first one above the quarter turn. It's looking pretty good, looking pretty solid. I still will cover these quarter turns with ash wood. A few things I want to do is there'll be a railing, of course, probably on the on the left-hand side, and also attaching the steps to the wall, and there'll be a railing on the right-hand side. All right, folks, here we have the completed staircase, at least functionally completed. 9 steps going on up to the 2nd floor. 3 stringers. I'm going to attach it to the wall in several places, maybe all of the steps, I'm not sure. Just a little bit of wiggle, a little bit. And this quarter turn step will actually be covered with ash wood that I have here. I've got over 6 square meters left. This is just over a square meter. I will create a rectangle 110 by 106 just like this top is and cut it the exact same way, and those pieces should fit right on top. And I'll cut out little wedges for this. So I secured these stringers here at the bottom using these brackets, and at the top I used similar ones but off to the side. 2 of the stringers were, not long enough because this OSB is 2.5 meters long. I needed 2 steps extra, so they are secured in here. All the steps are glued in, and fasteners on at least 2 places to hold them steady, glued and fastened in. So far so good, folks. And total project cost at the moment, steps were about 1,000 zlotys. The stringers were 200 zlotys. All of the brackets and screws less than 100. Let's call it 100. So what do we got? 1,000, 2, 3. Oh, maybe 4 for this one. So 1,400 zlotys. Folks, 1,400 zlotys to build this staircase. That is roughly, well, under $500. Under 500 US dollars. Now, this customer had some estimates. The first estimate, we saw that one job where the guy came in and actually did do an installation, which they were fired. Originally, I was told he charged 6,800, and on the day of the installation said that he was charging $8,000, but in fact, as you know, he was fired and took his stuff and went home. We had another 2 vendors come prior to me coming back here. One of them offered a staircase for, well, it was totally in oak. It was quite nice, but without giving us any kind of plans or anything, the price he quoted was basically, with a 10% discount, 30,000 zlotys, which is $10,000, which we thought was ridiculous. We brought in another guy. He said he would do it also in oak, and he said the price would be $16,000, which is over $5,000. This is actually a beech, which is a harder wood than oak. It's a little bit cheaper than oak. It's not much cheaper. It's $5 cheaper for the steps. So, but I thought it just looked nicer. You know, sometimes oak just doesn't really have much character. Beech is harder than oak, just like the ash is harder than oak also. And I like the character of ash. It has more character, more design work. Of course, you can get some of that in oak, but most of the oak is pretty plain, in my opinion. Look, and it's nice. It's very nice. It's beautiful, but it doesn't have that character. This beech, we're going to stain it, polyurethane, lacquer, what do you call it? It'll have the same color as the floor here. And then, of course, when we finish this covering, it's going to add 2 centimeters, 20 millimeters worth of ash flooring on top to complete the look. And that's the plan, and I hope you enjoy this. Hope you learned a little something. Hope it was helpful to you. Until next time, it's Holy Joe Rock and Roll for this new oat house. Peace out. We've got to go to a mill to get the timbers that I need for the final stringers that are going to be the support beams under the steps. There's the mill. Bringing the wood, processing the wood. Yeah, the tractor just delivered my wood. All this and more on the next exciting episode of New Old House starring Holy Joe Rock and Roll. Please subscribe and stay tuned.